Welcome to NarrativeNook audio tales where enchanted stories come to life. If you enjoy our stories, please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Enjoy listening.
Nicole. Martin sounded confused. I'm going to Roma General Hospital for an examination shortly. Can you come over? Nicole asked carefully. Is it the examination arranged by your friend? Yes, Nicole admitted truthfully. She had already discussed this with Martin before, and he had mentioned that he wanted to come along, which was why she called him. Got it. I'll come over now. Martin responded. Thank you. See you at the hospital later. Nicole then hung up the phone. With everything arranged, Nicole left her office. Lulu had also come out of her office and was ready to accompany Nicole. Are we leaving now? Yes, let's go. Nicole nodded and exited the company with Lulu. Lawrence arrived just in time too. Hey Nicole, Lawrence said, smiling gently. After greeting Nicole, he glanced at Lulu and nodded in her direction. Mr. Lawrence, Lulu greeted him politely. Her attitude was not overly enthusiastic, but it was not cold either. Lawrence narrowed his brown eyes. He felt that Lulu was somewhat strange, but he could not figure out why. He knew this person was not only Spencer's fiancée but also Nicole's close friend, so she was an important person to Nicole. Let's go, Leo. Nicole moved slightly to block Lawrence's view of Lulu. Sensing Nicole's action, Lulu's expression stiffened for a moment, but she quickly regained her composure, acting as if nothing had happened. She knew that even though she was trying to appear natural, Lawrence had sensed something. He was indeed quite perceptive. Nicole was helping her back there. Without Nicole, she might have aroused Lawrence's suspicions and caused unnecessary trouble for Nicole. Thanks for this, Leo, Nicole said. Don't be so polite with me. His tone was extremely gentle. Just relax. Having a calm state of mind will help your amnesia too. Okay. Nicole smiled. Lulu was relieved as she listened to Nicole and Lawrence chatting away. She was clenching her jaw, trying to make herself calm down. I've got to be steadier. I can't bring Nicole any trouble. After some time, their car stopped at the hospital. Lawrence led Nicole and Lulu to the inspection room that was booked, where they saw a man with blonde hair and gold-rimmed glasses. He seemed like a well-mannered man and was looking at Nicole. Is she the one? The blonde man asked. Yes, thank you, Lawrence answered politely. He seemed quite courteous to this man. Nicole's eyes narrowed subtly. This was the first time she had seen Lawrence showing such an attitude toward others. Nicole, although Honwick may look young, his medical skills are very advanced. You can put your faith in him, Lawrence reassured Nicole. Okay, thank you, Nicole replied politely and nodded at Honwick as a sign of acknowledgement. Come with me. Honwick walked toward the examination machine. Nicole gestured for Lawrence and Lulu to leave first before she followed Honwick. Lawrence and Lulu left the examination room, and the corridor fell silent. Lulu bit her lip as she desperately tried to stay calm. She could not allow Lawrence to sense any abnormalities. She knew it was all on her. She should not suspect Lawrence just because she heard that Steve was investigating him. For that reason, her attitude toward him had changed, which made Lawrence grow suspicious of her. After a long silence, Lulu became puzzled and raised her head. Why is it so quiet? She looked up at Lawrence and realized that he was not paying any attention to her at all. His gaze was fixed on the examination room door. Lulu bit her lip and furrowed her eyebrows. Though it was normal for Lawrence to feel nervous, why did he look conflicted? Why would he have mixed feelings? Is he worried Nicole's memory won't recover? Don't worry, Mr. Lawrence. I believe Nicole will recover her memory, Lulu said, trying to comfort Lawrence while keeping a close eye on him. She did not want to miss any changes in his expression. As expected, when Lawrence heard Lulu's words, his features stiffened briefly. However, he quickly regained his composure. Even if it doesn't work this time, we'll continue to try next time. Right, we'll keep trying together, Lulu agreed. She then sighed and added, Nicole often says you've been a great help to her during the 5 years she was gone. You even saved her life back then. She's truly lucky to have a friend like you. Lawrence replied modestly, "It's nothing. She has also helped me a lot." "She helped you?" Lulu echoed in surprise. Nicole had lost her memories and she knew nothing about her past. How could a person with no memories and 2 children help Lawrence out? That's Nicole, all right. She's simply amazing. "Indeed, and these 5 years have been very important in my life," Lawrence said. Mentally, he continued, "It's an unforgettable 5 years too." Lulu smiled and said, "Mr. Lawrence, you don't need to be sad. You and Nicole are good friends, and your friendship won't end after those 5 years. There'll be many more years ahead for you both. In the future, we..." Lawrence's gaze became wistful, and then he nodded. "Yeah, we will." However, it was clear that Lulu's idea of the future and Lawrence's were not the same. Lulu believed in maintaining a lifelong friendship, while Lawrence had deeper intentions. He wanted to spend his life with Nicole. With a meaningful gaze, Lawrence looked back toward the examination room. Just then, the door to the examination room opened, and Nicole and Honwick emerged. "How did it go?" Lulu immediately approached them, her eyes filled with eager questions for her friend. Nicole shook her head gently and said, "The situation is still the same. My memory hasn't returned." Lulu sighed, somewhat disappointed. It appeared that the outcome was as expected. "Don't be disheartened. At least you're physically healthy, so there's still hope," Honwick reassured Nicole. "But is there anything we can do?" Lawrence also appeared disappointed as he asked this. "I'll prescribe some stabilizing medication for now. After we return, I'll further my research and compile a treatment plan for you to consider. If it's acceptable to you, we can give it a shot," Honwick replied. "Sounds good," Lawrence readily agreed. "Thank you for taking care of her. We'll leave her in your hands." "You're welcome. It's what I should do," Honwick replied. "Over the years, I've consulted many doctors, and Nicole has also tried various methods, but there hasn't been any significant improvement. I hope we'll make a breakthrough this time," Lawrence said. Honwick looked at Nicole and offered some comforting words. "Luck will eventually be on your side." "Thank you." Nicole nodded appreciatively. "Nicole," Lulu held on to her friend, seemingly wanting to advise her to reconsider. Nicole gently squeezed Lulu's hand, and Lulu immediately kept quiet. Lulu understood that Nicole must have seen what she had seen, so Nicole definitely had her reasons for agreeing to the treatment. The rest could be discussed later. "Don't thank me. Lawrence has been worrying about your condition all along, so he often talked to me about it. I happen to be in San Giotto now, so I'm just seeing what I can do," Honwick said as he glanced at Lawrence. "He's really concerned about you." "Yes, we've been friends for many years, and he's helped me a lot," Nicole replied with a faint smile. "Of course." Honwick nodded, not saying much more. After saying their goodbyes to the doctor, the 3 of them left the hospital. Lulu held a bag containing a small, unmarked white medicine bottle. She furrowed her eyebrows and asked, "What kind of medicine is this? Why does it have no label or anything?" "It's a medication that was formulated by Honwick. It's specifically tailored for Nicole, so you won't find it on the market," Lawrence explained. "I see," Lulu said, her expression changing to one of realization. She treated the medication like a precious treasure and carefully put it away. "It's almost noon. Let's have lunch together. I can drop you off after," Lawrence suggested. Nicole glanced at the time and said regretfully, "I have an appointment with a client today, so I won't be able to have lunch with you. Let me treat you next time as thanks." "All right, next time then," Lawrence agreed. "Shall I drop you off?" "Nah, it's just around here, so I'll be fine." Nicole declined Lawrence's offer because she needed to return to the hospital. "In that case, I won't keep you any longer." Then, Lawrence drove away. Phew, he's finally gone. Lulu let out a sigh of relief. Acting was incredibly challenging, especially in front of someone like Lawrence. Nicole watched Lawrence's car recede into the distance. "Let's go back." The 2 of them returned to the hospital. But this time, instead of going to Hanwick's inspection room, they entered an ordinary hospital room where their friend Martin was waiting for them. "How did it go?" Nicole asked in a serious tone as she entered. "I've got it. I'm just reviewing it now," Martin replied, waving the report form in his hand. This was the medical report that Honwick had prepared for Nicole. He had asked a nurse to print an extra copy for him to examine further. "But is there a problem?" Lulu looked worried. She had noticed the meaningful exchange of glances between Honwick and Lawrence earlier. "It's just a standard checkup, and this report really showed that Nicole's memory hasn't been recovered." Martin shook his head. At least from the report, he could not detect any issues. "In that case, what about this?" Lulu handed the small medicine bottle to Martin. Martin furrowed his eyebrows as he took it. "Honwick prescribed this for you?" Who would dare to take this without any information? There was nothing on it, not even a label. You could hide poison in it, and nobody would know. "Yes." Nicole shrugged and shook her head. "Does Honwick think that I'm stupid?" "I'll take this back and analyze its components," Martin said, putting the medicine bottle away. He was not going to allow Nicole to take it, and he believed that she would not want to consume it either. "Okay, I'll wait for your update," Nicole responded. "If there was something wrong with this medication, things would make sense. I'll get to work on it right away. I'll call you as soon as I have results," Martin assured her seriously. "All right." The three of them left the hospital at separate times. Nicole and Lulu hailed a cab and headed back to their office. "Nicole, could it be that Honwick wants to harm you? But then, what's Lawrence's role in all of this? It's too absurd to think he'd destroy you just because he can't have you." Lulu scrunched up her face. If that were true, Lawrence must have lost his mind. Nicole could not help but chuckle as she lightly tapped Lulu's forehead. "You're overthinking things." She believed Lawrence had a reason to invite Honwick, but she did not think it was to harm her. If Lawrence genuinely wanted to harm her, he would do it covertly, not in such a conspicuous manner. If something happened to her, it would be clear that Lawrence was involved. Unless Lawrence was prepared to go to extremes and sacrifice his own life, she doubted that was his intention. "Yeah, maybe I am," Lulu admitted, realizing that her concerns might have been unwarranted. "Lawrence probably isn't that crazy, and his intentions probably aren't malicious. But if that's the case, what's his agenda then?" Nicole was much calmer. She looked at Lulu's curious expression and said, "Let's just wait for Martin's analysis." Nicole would rather wait for concrete information than waste her energy on speculations. "That's all we can do." Lulu sighed in resignation. She was worried, especially for Nicole. Nicole considered Lawrence a friend, and if Lawrence did anything behind her back and upset her, she would surely be disappointed. Nicole smiled as she looked at Lulu. "Why don't you think about where we should have lunch?" "I don't have the appetite." Lulu sighed again. "No. What am I going to tell Spencer if you lose weight?" Nicole teased. "You don't have to. I'll just take it as losing weight." Lulu shrugged indifferently. "You can't lose weight. You have to maintain your figure since your wedding dress has already been tailored. It needs to fit perfectly." Lulu blushed as she responded, "Fine, I'll eat something. I'll eat with you even if I don't have any appetite. After all, I wouldn't know how to explain to Mr. Johnston if you lose weight too." The two of them chatted and laughed, lightening the mood. Eventually, they had lunch near their office before returning to the company. "Nicole, I heard you went for a medical checkup. Are you feeling unwell?" Steve asked as he bumped into Nicole outside the elevator. "No, it was just a routine checkup," Nicole replied without delving into details. She did not want Steve to worry as he had already warned her about Lawrence. "Okay, as long as you're fine. If you ever feel unwell, remember to let us know or get some rest," Steve advised. "All right," Nicole replied. She led Lulu back to their office. "I wonder how long Martin will take to get the results," Lulu remarked impatiently, glancing at the time. She wondered if Martin had just returned to his research office. Just as she finished speaking, Nicole's phone rang. "Martin." Nicole answered the call, her voice tinged with some apprehension. "Why's Martin calling so soon?" "The results are in. It's some nerve suppressant drugs. They might affect your memory recovery. Martin sounded serious. It was clear that the other party did not want Nicole to regain her memory and was willing to physically harm her to prevent it. Nicole's expression darkened. Why would Lawrence do this? Does he not want me to regain my memory? Nicole sulked slightly as she sighed. Lawrence hadn't been enthusiastic about recovering my memories in the past, but he had never actively tried to stop it. Why did that change now? Do you know what's going on with Lawrence and Honwick? Martin asked, sounding concerned. It was evident that those two individuals were trying to harm Nicole and prevent her from recovering her memory. Could it be because Nicole knew some secrets that could not be revealed? Sighing again, Nicole answered, Honwick is someone I've just met. Lawrence hired him. As for Lawrence... She hesitated briefly before continuing, I've known Lawrence for the last 5 years. Technically, I've known him before that too, but I just can't remember. As for how well she knew Lawrence, it was mostly from what she had heard from Jared. Even if she regained her memory, she would not say that she truly knew him. And now, she felt estranged from him. If that's the case, maybe you've come across some secret of his, and he doesn't want you to recover your memory, Martin speculated. Secrets. Nicole narrowed her eyes slightly. She did not want to believe it, but there did not seem to be any other reasonable explanation. I'll prepare an identical-looking medication with different ingredients. It won't harm your body. As for the rest, we'll have to investigate slowly, Martin suggested. For now, they needed to tread carefully, so Lawrence would not become suspicious. Then, they could slowly uncover the truth. Nicole sighed and agreed. Yeah, that seems to be the only option for now. I'll have the medication delivered to you once I'm done, Martin said quietly. Thank you, Martin, Nicole said. Without his help, she might not have noticed the issue. Don't mention it. I just want you to be okay. Nicole smiled. I'll have someone investigate this. I'll let you know once we have any results. Even though Martin was not directly involved in this matter, she believed he would be concerned about her after knowing the situation. She wanted to update him once they had any results so he would not be worried. After ending the call, Nicole turned to Lulu and said, "The medication is dodgy." Lulu's face turned pale as she gritted her teeth. How could he betray your trust like this? Nicole trusted him so much, and he used that trust to harm her. It was utterly unforgivable. We'll have to investigate this slowly. Nicole sighed, having mixed feelings. All right, but how should we start the investigation? Lulu asked, her eyebrows furrowing in confusion. This was not a work-related issue, and she had no experience in handling such situations, so she did not know where to start. I'll have someone else handle this matter. Lulu wanted to help too, but Nicole looked up at her and said, if there's a need for your help, I'll let you know. Nicole knew that Lawrence was not just a businessman as Lulu thought. His world was much more complicated than Lulu could possibly imagine, so Nicole would try her best not to involve Lulu in this matter. All right then. Seeing that Nicole had made up her mind, Lulu could only agree, although she felt a bit guilty deep down. Lulu wanted to help but was afraid that making mistakes would only make things worse, especially since she knew that dealing with Lawrence would definitely not be as easy as dealing with Rain and James. Nicole patted Lulu's shoulder comfortingly. Don't worry. This matter can't be resolved in a day or two. I think you should just relax and prepare to be a bride. Lulu's cheeks turned red, and she replied shyly, why bring that up all of a sudden? Lulu was worried about Nicole, but here Nicole was, reminding her about her own upcoming wedding. Why can't I talk about it? The day is getting closer and closer, Nicole said, believing that no matter what happened, normal life should not be affected. Let's not talk about it. I have to work now, Lulu said, getting up and leaving the office. Nicole could not help but smile slightly, thinking that Lulu's shyness was typical of a bride-to-be. Taking a deep breath, she returned to her desk and regained her composed expression before turning on her computer. As she worked, Nicole reflected on how Martin's conclusion had cleared up many of her doubts. She could not understand Lawrence's behavior toward her, so she decided to start her investigation with his background from 5 years ago. Time flew by, and before she realized it, the workday was over. Nicole, it's time to leave. Lulu pushed the door open and poked her head in. Nicole glanced at the time, surprised by how late it was. Oh, okay, she replied, shutting down her computer and getting up to leave with Lulu. What were you so busy with? I saw you on your computer all afternoon, Lulu noted curiously. Just looking up some information, Nicole replied, avoiding going into detail. Sensing Nicole's reluctance to elaborate, Lulu did not press further. After leaving the office, they each got into their cars and went their separate ways. Later, Jared noticed that Nicole looked a bit pale and asked with a slight frown, "You look a bit tired. Busy day at work?" "No, just looking up some information about Lawrence," Nicole said, not intending to hide anything from him. Jared's eyes darkened with concern as he wondered why she was suddenly looking up information on Lawrence. "Well," Nicole bit her lip lightly. Then, in a serious tone, told Jared about what happened that day and asked, "Before I disappeared, did I know any secrets about Lawrence?" "I don't think so," Jared explained. "At least nothing that could threaten him. If he really cared about any secrets, he would have acted against me a long time ago." Frowning, Nicole said, "I spent the entire afternoon thinking about this. I don't think I knew any more about Lawrence 5 years ago than you do now. Why would he want to stop me from recovering my memory? If Lawrence simply did not want her to be with Jared, that would not make sense because she and Jared were already a couple. There must be something that happened over the past 5 years that he's trying to keep from you." Jared's voice was tinged with an icy edge. He thought, this seems to be the only reasonable explanation, but what could Lawrence possibly fear Nicole finding out? Locking eyes with Jared, Nicole shook her head. A look of confusion crossed her face. "I haven't found anything unusual." Actually, as far as she could recall, Lawrence had always been caring toward her and the children, and had been a great support during her toughest times. She felt a sense of gratitude toward him. So she found it hard to believe he could be hiding anything from her. As if he could read Nicole's mind, Jared said solemnly, "Something must have happened from the time you first disappeared until you truly accepted him." Nicole's face tensed a little. "A lot happened during that time, but I don't think any of it was related to Lawrence." Out loud she said, "But I remember everything from that time." Again in her mind she wondered, what could Lawrence be hiding from me? There has to be a link. Something from that time must be related to a memory of yours. Jared's eyes flashed coldly as he thought, Lawrence really can't be trusted. "I've spent the whole afternoon searching for information, but sadly, there's hardly anything about Lawrence, and even less that's helpful. If he could perfectly fabricate your information, he can certainly hide his own. Keep searching, you'll find something eventually." Jared gently held Nicole's hand and comforted her. "Right, I'm already working on it." Nicole nodded, knowing she could not rush this matter. "Max, have someone search for all the information Lawrence has kept private." Jared commanded, his gaze slightly cold. "Yes," Max affirmed respectfully, his eyes showing determination. Nicole lightly bit her lip, hesitated briefly, then told Max, "His main area of control is all in Macrunia. There are also some old subordinates whom I haven't met and with whom he has lost contact." She had only overheard Lawrence and Lon mentioning them once, but it was not related to her, so she did not ask more. As for the rest, she believed Jared knew more than she did. He actually contacted those old subordinates. The last time he said he was going to Crescent Island, he actually went to contact them, Max whispered. Nicole's eyes widened. Then she laughed at herself, realizing she really did not understand Lawrence at all. "Leave it to Max. He'll figure it out." Jared gently held Nicole's hand and comforted her. "Okay." Nicole nodded, deciding to decode the crest that Lawrence gave her as a way to thank him for saving her life. Once she did that, she felt like she would not owe him anything anymore. "Elle used to think we could always be friends, but now it looks like Lawrence might have never thought of me as a friend." She bit her lip, sighed softly, and rested her head on Jared's shoulder for support. That made her feel a little better. After a bit, they got to the kids' school. Nolan and Lana, super happy that their parents were coming to get them, ran over as soon as they saw Jared's car. When the car door opened, they hopped in. "Mommy. Daddy." Nolan and Lana squeezed between Nicole and Jared, their eyes wide with curiosity. "Where are we going?" "To Great-Grandpa's house," Jared said, giving Lana's little nose a playful tweak. "Didn't we just go there yesterday?" Lana blinked her big eyes, wondering if they could go again today. Smiling, Jared picked Lana up. "We're going to another great-grandpa's house." "Another one?" Nolan furrowed his eyebrows, thinking, are there many great-grandpas? "It's my grandpa," Jared explained. Nolan and Lana exchanged glances. "Daddy's grandpa?" Lana was surprised. "Daddy has a grandpa too." Jared, finding the situation humorous, said, "Of course, I have a grandpa. It's just that your mommy couldn't remember, so she didn't tell you guys." Understanding dawned on Nolan and Lana as they nodded. "No wonder we never heard about it." After a while, the car drove into the Johnston family manor. After Jared and Nicole got out of the car, they took Nolan and Lana into the mansion. Maximilian was clearly waiting for them. As soon as they entered, he kept his eyes on Nolan and Lana, smiling broadly. "There you are." Maximilian waved at Nolan and Lana, his smile so broad that the wrinkles on his face squeezed together. "Come, give me a hug." "Great-grandpa." Nolan and Lana called out as they approached Maximilian, preparing themselves for a hug. Maximilian's face crinkled with joy as he looked at the children, feeling a rush of affection. Pulling out the gifts he had gotten for them, he said, "Here, these are for you." "Thank you, great-grandpa," Nolan and Lana said, as Maximilian handed them a pair of small but intricate keepsake boxes that sparkled under the light. "I heard from Benjamin that he gave you special charm bracelets, so I couldn't give you the same. That's why I prepared these," Maximilian said, quite pleased with himself. His gifts were no worse than Benjamin's. Nicole raised an eyebrow at Jared, as if asking, "Has Grandpa always been this competitive?" "Probably because he's gotten older," Jared whispered. Years ago, Maximilian was not like this. These days, since he stopped managing the Johnston family affairs and the company, he showed a lighter side of his personality. "That's quite nice," Nicole said with a smile. "Everyone sit down." Maximilian invited everyone to take a seat. After sitting down, he looked at Nolan and Lana, his eyes full of sympathy. "You certainly managed to keep it a secret, huh?" "Grandpa, we were concerned revealing the children's identities might endanger them, so we chose to keep it a secret," Nicole said. Jared had agreed mainly for her sake, and she did not want Maximilian to feel hurt or betrayed by their decision. "Are the Johnston kids in danger here in San Joto?" Maximilian's face turned serious as he looked at Jared. "Can you explain what exactly happened?" He realized they were not just hiding the kids, but also many other things he was not aware of. Nicole was surprised. Even though Maximilian had long since stopped managing the company and the Johnston family affairs, he instantly understood that something had happened. "Grandpa, let's focus on positive topics while the kids are here. I'll fill you in on everything else later." Jared reassured Maximilian, not wanting to worry him further. Glancing at Nolan and Lana, Maximilian realized he might have been too eager and said, "All right." "Wow! Great-grandpa, this house is so big and pretty," Lana exclaimed, looking around. "Haha, it's a shame it's just me living here. How about you two stay and keep me company?" Maximilian asked. Nolan and Lana both looked at Nicole, their faces a mix of hope and apprehension. Nicole looked to Jared, herself unsure, wondering if they should stay or leave. "Let's stay then," Jared replied, not wanting to decline. "Thanks for letting them stay, Grandpa," Nicole said, nodding in agreement with Jared. "I'm always happier when you all visit. The house just feels so much livelier," Maximilian replied with a grin. Living in such a big place by himself could get lonely. "Skylar, can you get some rooms ready?" Maximilian asked his butler, Skylar Merrill. "Of course, sir," Skylar responded, quickly heading off to make the arrangements. "How about we grab a bite now?" "Nolan, Lana, are you kids hungry?" Maximilian asked. Nolan and Lana said in unison, "We ate at preschool." "Oh, gotcha. You sure you don't want a bit more?" Maximilian asked. Both kids shook their heads. "We're good, thanks." Dad, let them play. They'd do the same thing at home, Nicole said. All right, go play, Maximilian said. Then, he turned to his butler. Skylar, make sure someone's watching over Nolan and Lana. Skylar acknowledged with affirmative and quickly set up someone to be with Nolan and Lana as they explored the mansion and yard. Once seated in the dining room with dinner served, Nicole, Jared, and Maximilian began to eat. Between bites, Maximilian asked, "So, can you tell me now what happened?" Jared looked at Nicole, then summarized what had happened. When Maximilian learned that Nicole had previously returned, faced grave danger, and since then avoided coming back or exposing the children's true identities, he felt a mix of anger and concern. Who would dare threaten the Johnston family, especially Nicole and the kids? Were they looking for trouble? Maximilian said, clearly angry, "We've been on this case for a while, but we're coming up empty. Those individuals from San Giotto disappeared, and the trail has gone cold given the time that's passed," Jared said, his tone reflecting his frustration. He could not figure out who in San Giotto could have the resources and motive to target Nicole this way. What baffled him even more was that they seemed to get information faster than he did. If not for Nicole's recent revelations, he would have remained unaware of her previous return and the dire situations she encountered. "You couldn't find any leads?" Maximilian said. His eyebrows were knitted together, as if he were deep in thought. Could there really be such dangerous individuals lurking in San Giotto still? "I tried searching online too, but couldn't find anything," Nicole said, sounding disappointed. "Will we ever get any clues? Do you think they might be from somewhere other than San Giotto?" Maximilian pondered. "We need to search worldwide. I'm sure we can find these people." After Nicole's incident, everyone believed she was dead. Why would anyone continue to pursue her? "She was attacked the moment she set foot in San Giotto," Jared said, shaking his head. "The pieces just were not fitting together." "There's someone who knows," Maximilian replied, looking at Nicole. "Where have you been these past years? You might have been spotted." "I was living on a remote island with just regular fishermen. They had no idea who I was," Nicole replied. "Why would anyone there want to harm me?" "You mean there weren't any outsiders on the island?" Maximilian asked, looking more puzzled as he felt the situation getting weirder. "I met Lawrence on the island, but after that..." Nicole's voice faded. Lawrence had filled in the blanks of her memory. As far as she knew, only Lawrence was aware she had come to San Giotto. Her face paled, her mind racing. Could it be Lawrence? "But he saved me, even got hurt doing it." A shiver ran through her until a comforting hand took hers. Nicole squeezed it briefly, then gently released it. She took a breath, giving Jared a shaky smile. "I'm all right, just got a little shaken up." She thought, "I can't doubt Lawrence now, not after everything. With all that went down at the hospital, I'm just a bit frazzled. That's all." Lawrence doesn't want her to remember, Jared thought. The investigation's still ongoing. Jumping to conclusions won't help. "I'll wait for Max's report." Gently squeezing Nicole's hand, he suggested, "How about we grab a bite?" Jared could sense the storm of emotions raging within Nicole. Yet, she recovered quickly. Considering Lawrence once saved her, it makes sense she'd trust him, he thought. But his skepticism grew. "Lawrence? I'm determined to uncover the truth. Whether he's involved or not, I'll find out who's responsible." Judging by their expressions, Maximilian had a good idea of what was happening. He paused briefly, and then decided not to mention it again. "They can handle it. I've said what I needed to. It's their call now." After dinner, Maximilian, Nolan, and Lana played together, filling the living room with cheerful laughter. Nicole and Jared, seated on the couch, smiled, touched by the heartwarming scene. The front door opened, revealing Max. Jared caught his eye and then headed upstairs. Taking the hint, Max quickly followed. In the study, Max said, "I found some stuff." He handed Jared a file and waited. Jared flipped through the file, his face showing a mix of surprise and suspicion when he saw a particular name. "Honwick Ferguson? That's the Dr. Lawrence talked to. The papers seem legit, But we think this Honwick Ferguson might be fake, Max said, his expression serious. We've also found some people who might know about him. With a stern voice, Jared said, "Go on." He thought to himself, if this doctor isn't real, then he's definitely with Lawrence.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.